I've been dating my boyfriend for 10 years. In his previous life, he was an alcoholic, and now he has a relapse. We had to part ways because he was an alcoholic who had relapsed. He needed to zero in on himself. He loved me, thought often about me, thought I was wonderful and hot, and we had comparative qualities. Yet, he needed to zero in on his well-being and himself, so we needed to head out in different directions. We didn't get to begin a relationship. We were talking situationship for around a half year before I could confront realities and let him go. Truth is that I was enamored bad. 2. The bone. Ick on the off chance that he felt the same way. I realize he enjoyed me and everything except adoration. I don't know. I actually think he has a place with me, and I with him, yet I'm simply residing with those considerations, attempting to now pay them any psyche, since it feels woeful to cherish a man who doesn't adore me. We concurred no contact with the exception of letters, and I sent 2 or 3 cards, nothing weighty or serious in them, and I didn't get anything back. At the point when I was around him, I embraced a new lease on life, similar to the individual I generally needed to be. I long for himself and miss him. We said we would reach out after he'd been level, headed a year. That date is quick drawing nearer, and I'm not anticipating a call, simply living with my fantasies and expectations. I needed to adore him, and how him my adoration. Ike, how disastrous it is. I simply realize I care for himself, and I need him so much. And I maintain that he should be solid, and I trust his process is working out in a good way. We were significant distance as well. Hadn't seen him face to face in quite a while. I actually recall that we used to spend what felt like hours, ecstatic hours, kissing and holding one another. First time we met, we both did a 2-fold take. At the point when we kissed, my psyche would go, not clear yet, just something great occurred. I didn't think, I just felt. I've let him know how he affects me. I can't any longer. Presently, he can return assuming he's prepared when that date comes. However, I don't figure he will. I mean, how might this try and work out? I simply realize I'm enamored even after 5 months of no contact. At the point when I would hear his voice and see his face, or simply be around him, I would feel like I was home. I'd on the off chance that I ought to let him know everything sometime in the not-so-distant future. I would rather not embarrass myself. I simply want to have met face to face, and I might have had one final kiss, in the event that it wasn't intended to be. Then, at that point, I could have no less than one final hug. We never at any point got to have intercourse, and I wish we had. I'm frozen in time expecting him to come for me. I can't converse with anyone about this. I know it's not cool to adore somebody who doesn't cherish you back. Presently, everything revolves around picking yourself, which I attempted to do. That is the reason I must be the one to say stop no more. I simply trust for the day after the 1-year point comes. Since when my telephone doesn't ring, when the message doesn't come, I'll realize I can continue on. I'll mend, and I'll push ahead. I couldn't care less assuming I at any point love once more. Doesn't make any difference. I'll venture to the far corners of the planet. I'll search out my joys and fun. In the meantime, I'll miss him less every day, I trust. On the off chance that he read this, he may be frightened off. Furthermore, likely for good explanation, perhaps I'm not in adoration. Am I simply a young lady with issues? I have to take a hard pass. I've really focused on this person for a considerable length of time. I thought it was finished. In any case, he returned and maybe no time had elapsed. I want to have gone through one day together, holding his hand, feeling his body breathing in his fragrance, seeing his grin face to face, making him chuckle and seeing his eyes sparkle so brilliant and his smile worried and timid and dicey and humble. I love you to such an extent. I like you to such an extent. However, I'll be fine. I'm fine.